Good evening, everyone at home. It's so wonderful to have you and have us tonight. You know, it's a common saying that knowledge is power and knowledge can set free. And I'm so happy because we are all in search of knowledge in the bid to have a better future. I'm sure tonight you are going to really be blessed. I just want to encourage you, get your pen, get your book, because you will have a lot to write down so that you can go over it. Here with me tonight is my beautiful wife, Dr. Tomi. You're welcome to this wonderful time with the Generation Next. How are you?
Good evening, everyone. Hope you had a great day.
They're answering this. Thank you. So tonight we want to talk about dating and courtship. What is dating? Well, from its name, date, it's a one-on-one agreement between two different people in order to be able to sit, recreate, socialize, talk, and get to know one another more.
Okay, by way of definition, dating means bringing a man and a woman together in a socially acceptable manner. While courtship is when a man is attempting to woo a woman for the purpose of winning her so that they can marry. Another definition says courtship is a relationship between a man and a woman in which they seek to determine if it's God's will for them to marry one another. So from this definition you can see that it is more courtship is more detailed. Courtship is more detailed. There is an aim, there's an objective, there is an end point that the people involved are looking at.
There's a whole lot of difference between when you're in need of something and when you want something, as far as relationship is concerned. Now, let me give this example. Maybe I went for exercise early in the morning and I come back and I'm famished, you know. I would really need to probably eat something cold. I might want to either take soda or just ordinary water. You know, at that point, anything I get, I'm looking for something that will quench my thirst. So in that way, I wouldn't mind anything I see. Likewise, if, for example, if I'm not famished and maybe I'm at my best, maybe I'm eating and everything, I might say, okay, I wouldn't mind taking a cup of yogurt or drink. In that case, I have options, I have choices. So when it comes to courtship, when it comes to dating, you should be at a point where you are not in need before you make your decision, because in that way that would determine the kind of choice you're going to want to choose who to marry. It's easier because you yourself, you are something on your own before you want to make such a decision.
Yeah, from there we would like to talk about who is eligible to courtship.
Is it not every man or every woman?
No, as courtship is not for boys and girls, it's for matured minds. And when we say maturity, it's not just about the age, because you might be 40 and you are still not matured. You might be 30 and you are matured. The fact that you are spiritually matured, you are emotionally matured, you are financially matured, you are psychologically matured. So it's not somebody that any small thing you run to your parents and they say, so this person did this to me, which children usually do. So this is what we know. We have to know, am I matured enough to go into marriage? Because there are a lot of challenges even in marriage. Actually, okay, that is, you know your God, because the Bible says they that know their God, they shall be strong and shall do exploit. You know what you want, you know your left from your right. It's not that anything that just comes, you just take. No, psychologically, spiritually, financially, because it is money that you use to do a lot of things. When you marry, it is not just by maybe because you look good and all that will settle bills, but you are financially capable, you are emotionally balanced, you are psychologically balanced. Those are the kind of qualities that are very, very important for someone who wants to go into courtship.
Thank you. Before going into courtship, you should know the pros and cons, the challenges and the positive side of courtship. Another thing is you should know God's standards. Of course, we expect that we are believers and we expect that we do this God's way. You should know God's standard. What does God say about certain things? And when you know His standard, that should be the guide to how you would go on in your relationship. Things you shouldn't do, lines you shouldn't cross. You should be resolute about that. And with that, it will go a long way to help you in going into your courtship or your dating. Marriage is the only institution you go into, and that is from the onset they give you your certificate. Whereas knowledge is very powerful. When you know, that's why you should. I'm grateful that you are here tonight, investing into your future. See, you should invest well into your future so that you can have a great marriage. You can't sit on the fence as far as this is concerned. It's either you invest or you don't invest, and when you don't invest, you don't get anything. But when you invest into it, you get a lot from it. The Bible says that marriage is honorable when the bed is undefiled. Those are things that we should follow with the whole of our heart. If you're able to do that, then it shows a lot about who and what you will eventually be.
Very, very important to be resolute about what you are going into. You know, what is worth doing at all is what doing well. So it's very, very important that you already make up your mind how you're going to go about it, and it helps you. It helps to keep in check. If you fail to plan, then you have planned to fail. That's just so. If you have planned, okay, this is how it's going to be, and all that. This I'm going to follow God's standard. I'm going to make sure that I do my part. With God helping me, everything will be perfect. So now we'll like to talk about the things that you're supposed to do, things that are supposed to be in place before going into courtship. It is very, very important, because the single period, the time when you are single, when you are not yet married, is a very, very important time of our lives, when we develop ourselves spiritually, physically, otherwise, socially. You have the whole time to yourself. You can develop yourself. You can wake up in the morning and decide that I want to travel today, and nobody will say you must not go or you have to consult me. It's very, very important. In fact, it is very, very important for us to make use of the time where we are not yet married. That is a very great gift. That is the time you can decide that, okay, I want to do 3 days fasting. Nobody will challenge you. When you are single, you can decide that, okay, today I'm just going to take Indomie. I'm just going to do this. You know, all those things you cannot do when you are married. So it is very, very important that during our single years, we make the best of those times. And what are the things we're supposed to do? We're supposed to know ourselves. We're supposed to identify ourselves. Who am I? What does God says I am? What am I supposed to be doing for God? What is the vision of God for my life? What does God have in plan for me? Okay, myself, I don't cope with somebody that lies, somebody that does this, someone that does that. So when you are single, it's the time to identify yourself, know yourself. And when you know yourself, you will not be confused about anything. When you already know yourself, you know the kind of person that can come into your life, the kind of relationships you can go into. But when you are not sure of your identity, anybody that comes, you are just saying, let me just go somewhere, let me just follow anybody. But when you already, but when you already identify yourself, you know yourself in God, you will know the kind of relationship that you can even go into. So you will not waste your time trying this and trying that. You will know the right thing you're supposed to go into. You will know the things you're supposed to look for, because even some people at 25, 30, they still don't know what to look for. But when you already have your identity set, it will help you to know the kind of relationship and the kind of people to entertain in your circle. So that is very, very important. So that is one. The other thing is that you have to have a vision for your life. You have to know God's plan for your life. You know, if God's plan for your life is that you serve Him, you do this and do that myself, you know that kind of person cannot work with you. So it's very, very important, because the blind, especially men, we should know what is God asking us to do. Where are we supposed to be by time? It is not just that you just say everybody is moving here, let us just move. No. As far as your life is concerned, you take the driver's seat of your life. It's not that any little thing you will be running from pillar to post. You should have been developed. You should have been matured to know how to seek the face of the Lord, to know how to do things, to know, okay, God, this is where God is leading me to go. at this point, because when you marry now, you are the head, especially men, you are the head. Well, the woman says, oh, with our daddy, what else is God saying? You say, I don't even know, you know. So it is very, very important that we develop ourselves. We have a vision for our life, because when the blind is leading the blind, the accident is inevitable. And then it's very, very important that we have a good relationship with God, so that we know that, okay, when I want this, when I pray, this is how God answers me, this is how God speaks to me. It is very, very important, because it is the same way that God speaks to you on the minor things of life. That is the same way we speak to you. It is not that you now be expecting that one angel will appear to you and all that. So it is very, very important to know how does God speak to me. Even for we ladies also, when a man comes to you and say, I am brother Safanaya, God says you must be my wife. It is very, very important. If that woman does not know how God speaks to her, she will just fall for that kind of thing, which sometimes is usually a great error for some people. So it is very, very important to know, okay, brother Safanaya, please, I will also like to pray to God so that I can have a confirmation. So it is very, very important for anyone planning to go into courtship. You must be matured spiritually. And then the next one is that you must know how to develop your prayer life. It is during the single time that you can develop a stamina. You can develop your prayer life. You can pray into the future. You can pray for your children that are yet to be born. Even your spouse that you have not met, you can pray. And this prayer also has a way of helping. You know, it's a social thing. Marriage is a social thing, but God has a way of orchestrating our steps. So it is very important to develop our prayer life. And it is also very, very important to read books, to listen to talks like this, to read and listen to tapes about marriage. What does it entail? Because they just assume when we are married together, we just see how it goes. That's how a lot of people just say, okay, we are grown old, we will know how it. No, we should invest in it. Because when we want to go to school and all that, we read books, we buy books, we do all that, both soft copy and hard copy, learning about 5-year course. But marriage, there is so many years. We have to invest in it. You know, it's very funny. You see that people that invest in marriage, people that are trying to learn more about it, people that attend seminars and all, they have beautiful marriages. But people that you see that they will just be forming as if they know everything, they are the ones that usually have problem in marriage. You know, it will be easier for somebody that is prepared much more than somebody who is not prepared.
Be filled with the word of God, be prayerful, then serve God. God rewards service. When you serve God, God has a way of compensating you or rewarding you for what you have done. Serve God, develop yourself, have a good relationship with both God and man. If you have a good relationship with God, then it's going to be easier for Him to give you one of His own. Usually we always say that when you develop yourself, then it's going to be an advantage, because you're going to get someone that is equally developed like you. And for some people, you may need to forgive. Some have been in some relationship, and because of that, emotionally you are down. You need to let go, because that might be the only thing standing between you and where you are supposed to be in life.
It's very important to get busy with the work of God. Be involved in what is being done. You see a lot of single people, when things are done, maybe in their church or something, they withdraw. They don't get involved. It's very, very good to be involved in the things of God. When you are involved, when you are busy with the things of God, you also attract somebody that is busy working for God. When you work for God, God makes sure that every aspect of your life is sorted out. And then be whole in yourself. Don't say until I marry, before I can do this, before I can get that, before I can do this. Get a job, improve on yourself. If you are somebody that loves saying things, that loves doing like a hobby or something, do it. It is the time that you have for yourself that no other person will influence what you want to do. So it is very, very important. Anything you love doing, do it. Enjoy the time. As in, don't say you want to postpone all of your enjoyment till when you marry. It is very, very important. Whatever it is that you find, that your hand findeth to do, do it well, even as a single person. Love yourself until you are able to answer the question, can I marry somebody like myself? You are not ready to marry until you are ready to answer that question. That can I marry somebody like me? You know, when you ask a lot of people, would you want to marry? You say, I love somebody that loves God, somebody that is God-fearing, that serves God, that loves the presence of God. You should have, yes, you should now ask yourself.
Television.
A man that has vision.
Not television.
Not television.
I will watch movies. There's no television.
You can watch movie, but the main thing is your vision, the future. Because the people that make news are not the people that sit down to watch news. They are busy getting better. It is because they are giving something back. That's what people are watching them. So it is very, very important that we have who we say we want to marry. If you want a God-fearing man, are you a God-fearing sister? If you want a man that loves the presence of God, are you somebody that loves the presence of God? So it is very, very important that we answer that question, because everybody is looking for somebody to add to them. Nobody wants a liability. So if you're just sitting down there saying, I don't want to get better, I just want to catch a man, I want a man to catch me, that will just be taking care of me and all that. No. Everybody wants somebody that can add one thing or the other to themselves. Yeah, so it is very, very important.
Some are watching us that are already in courtship, we are already in relationship. What are the things that should be done when we are in a relationship? One of it is that you talk. Courtship majorly is about talking, rediscovering, and talking and communicating. You talk to each other. You talk about anything and everything. You talk it through so that you get to know the person very well. The time you have to wait, the time you have to cut, you need to keep talking and talking. Another thing is, the Bible says, can two work together except they be agreed? You must think alike, have the same vision. This person that I want to date, this person I'm in courtship with, are we thinking alike when it comes to issues of life? If you are thinking alike, then I want to say you're in the right track. But for example, if you are going towards the left and such a person is going towards the right, you need to both sit down, talk about it, reconsider your steps, and see how you can merge ideas. Don't leave anything untouched. I think it's a time for both of you to sit down and talk. The fact that you are in courtship with someone does not necessarily mean that you are going to end up marrying the person, because there might be indicators, there might be things that you will see that will probably make you to think well, because courtship is a time where you build up things into your marriage. By the time you see there are a lot of differences between your way of life, the way you think, the way you reason and everything, it might be a signal for both of you to say, the best we can be is just be casual friends. We can't go on, we can't move on like this. Because by the time you push it and say, what will people say? Let's just keep going on. Before you know it, it's more like you are building a home into a disaster, and which is not worth it. And that is one of the reasons why we have a lot of divorce rate in this time and age. And I think we should guard against it. Like, I would advise a believer to marry a believer, and I will advise an unbeliever to marry an unbeliever. And it's not even all believers that can marry each other, because there are different faiths and denominations. So if you are not thinking alike, then I don't think, because if you believe in doing certain things certain way and the other believes in doing it the other way, then it's not wise you go. So spiritual compatibility is something that is paramount and important.
So part of the things to do in courtship is you actually study the person. Are you compatible? And just like he has said, there are major compatibility levels that you can check. So it is very important, as well as it's important to talk, to let the person know your secrets, everything that's happened in the past. You have to, because talking, it is when you talk. You know, the Bible says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. It is even when you talk that you will know the kind of person this person is. So when you are talking also, you will know, is this person psychologically compatible with me? Are we compatible with each other? When I'm talking about A, is he talking about Z? Is this person somebody that we can flow together? Of course, we know what brings us together is chemistry. You are attracted to the person likes you and all that. That is good. You have chemistry and all that. Okay, that's good. After that, are we compatible? Can we live together? Can we reason together? And this is financially, spiritually, physically, emotionally, medically. So now for the medical aspect, you want to know, because sometimes people get into relationships so deep that they did not tackle the things that they should have tackled before they invest so much into the relationship. So they are now coming to a place where they say, after everything I've invested, will I be able to do this? Will I be able to do that? It is very important. Once you've started talking and okay, this person, we are compatible together in other ways, it is also very important to know, does this person have the genotype of this person, is it compatible with mine? Are we going to give birth to healthy children with our genotypes? Is this person HIV positive or negative? Is this person hepatitis screening? Is also important that people should do. It is very, very important. And then resource isoimmunization also is very, very another part that people are really not aware of. So it is very important. How do we do this? Just get a standard lab where you can go and do all these tests. Okay. It is just to avoid unnecessary pressure on your marriage when you marry. It is very, very important that you do all this. Why we said that keep talking. It is when you talk that you talk to, okay, what is your genotype? What are you doing? So it's, don't assume. A lot of people assume and say, because we met in church, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You need to engage people to actually know what is inside of them. It is when you talk that you know, okay, if this kind of scenario happens, this is how this person will react to it. Because people don't really change. People hardly change. It is just another version, a higher version of them that you see. So that is why once you know the things you can take and what you cannot take in courtship, once you are developed, once you are matured, you already know, when I begin to see these traits, this is what I do. When I begin to see these traits, this is what I do. As much as you want some other frivolous things like, okay, you should be tall, dark and handsome, that might not be the major things, because that is not what will keep your marriage. If somebody is lazy, somebody is not working and is just tall, handsome and whatever, when the landlord comes to collect money, it's not his house that they will look at. It is the money that he will bring out. When you begin to produce babies now, it is not the fact that he's tall and handsome that will buy food for the children. So it is very, very important to know.
I think that will lead us to another thing we should discuss. Financial compatibility. Does the person has the potential to, or is he lazy, or does he have potential? Is he working, or is just there saying, people you should run away from are people that are saying, I'm trying to, and that's what they've been doing for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. Hello, such people are time bomb. You should run away from them. Rather, if you go and work for free somewhere, because when by the time you start that's when you probably get to see more opportunity and get to become something in life. Don't sit down at home as a guy and say, there are jobs. Create something for yourself. Go and work on. So you should consider that financial compatibility. And one other thing you should consider, especially for those maybe in previous years, is legal compatibility. This person that I want to marry, to find is been married, has it done the necessary papers and everything? If it's a widowed person, then that is clear. But you should be sure that this person is not that he has a family in Port Harcourt and is there anybody telling you that, oh boy, I can marry you, I will be this. Don't be a second wife in another man's life. Don't spoil another home. Be sure, find out very well, be sure. That is where, if you keep talking, know his friends, get to know his family and everything. From there you will see the indicators, you see pointers, you see things that would guide you aright. Don't just be blindfolded by say, he's in love with me, he's in love with me, he's in love with me. That is not just about love. Love alone does not keep marriage. Love doesn't just keep marriage. That is why I would say in courtship, rather develop friendship rather than lovers. Love will fly away sometimes when challenges and situation of life comes. Love cannot sustain it. Is if you have a friend that you can hold your hands together, face it together, then that is when you can be able to obviously overcome such challenges. But if you are just basing everything based on feeling will fly away when the time comes. Have a healthy relationship. Don't mess things up. That's why, in the beginning of this series, we started talking about having standards in life. Fine, will there be feelings that maybe you should do this or do that, or maybe you should get involved more deeper? Yes, there will be, but you have to control yourself. A guy or a lady that won't control his or herself during the courtship time, you can be sure when you marry, if you are not giving such a person more than enough, he will look for alternatives. So this is a time to build your self principle. This is a time to build yourself and say, this is what I stand for, and be able to stay with it. A guy that is telling you small lie, all in the name of saying, I don't want to hurt you, I don't want to do this. When you marry, he will tell you bigger ones. Like my wife said, people don't change. You just see an higher version of them when they grow. Don't just be there and say, it will change, it will change, it will change. People don't change. People don't change. You should know what you are doing and face it, because it is better you resolve things when it comes to courtship than when you get married and you are trying to make room for it. It's wrong for you to have built a house and then you say you want to now work on the foundation. That's the wrong way of building. Rather, you start from the foundation, you build well, you structure it very well, then you put all the other thing on it. But by the time the building is on, to now start adjusting something in the foundation, then you are going to be affecting the entire house. So don't let your life be like that. Don't let your marriage be like that. Rather, build it from here on. We've said a couple of things about compatibility. You should take note of those things because they are very, very, very important. Do you still have any other thing to say?
Well, I just want to add once again that whatever it is, once you meet someone, talk about your past. Things are not left in the dark for so long. Eventually it will come out and it can break the home. So it is important, if the person is God sent, if the person loves you like they claim, then your past will not send them away. So it is very, very important to be open to our future spouses so that we can have a clean slate. You won't have to be covering any lie with another one. It's better. You enjoy your life more that way. You don't need to hide anything. That is very important. When you are beautiful and all that, it attracts people to you. But it is your character that will make them stay with you. Whatever it is you have, you are tall, you are dark, you are handsome, you are curvy, you are beautiful, it will only attract people. But what will keep them is your character. So it's very, very important to work on our character, even as we walk, even as we wait as a single person. Let us love ourselves. I would say duration of courtship depends on the two people that are involved, because when you have worked on yourself, you have healed from the past, it's easier for you to face this new relationship, get the things to be done. When you already know what you are looking for, you already know the things you're supposed to look for in the person. Is either the person is the person or is not the person. There is no, let me just manage it. There's no, don't give excuses also. It's whatever it is. That's why it is good. Have God's standards. You are matured. Nobody can force you into anything. You are not desperate about anything. You can open your eyes wide. When you've already started doing a lot of things, it will blindfold you. It will not let you to think straight. And it's also very important that you have a pastor or somebody that can
accountable partner.
Yes, that can say, okay, where are you today? Or how are you doing it and all that. Somebody that you can talk to. Somebody that when you have any issues, godly counsel, that can give you godly counsel, that can tell you you are the one that is blindfolded by love. The other person is not blindfolded. God will help us as much as we try to do what we should do spiritually. Let us also take responsibility. Let us do what we are supposed to do. Let us develop ourselves. Let us know what we are supposed to know, and let us have let us get our pastors involved in whatever you are doing. Don't abscond with anybody. That's another thing. Don't abscond with anybody. Whatever you are doing, your parents should be carried along. They should give their blessing, because when anybody abscond with something, when something happen, you will be on your own. So it's better, don't abscond with anything. If your parents are saying they don't want this, let them see reasons. If explain to them, they are your parents, they want what is best for you.
Let me point this out. Don't get involved in extramarital sex. That would close your eyes completely. Anyone that sleeps with you before you get married is not someone you can trust when you get married. In fact, research says about 65% of such marriages get to break. About 20% of it get to survive. The remaining is 50-50. So you can't afford to do that. And if you have done that, repent and move on. Stay clean and be yourself. So let me just quickly, do you go through some of the few things we have thought about, some of the things you should use as checklist. Do you think alike? Is my partner to be born again or just a church goer? Do we both communicate freely? Does he or she loves the presence of God? Those are essential things you should think of. Am I attracted to this person? Do we have chemistry? Are we connected? Does he or she has a vision for life, or is just going, or is just about television like we said? You should marry someone that has a vision for life. Is this person mature or is not emotionally mature? That when is, and how do you know this? That is where the time of courtship is meant for. When life issue comes, how does he handle it? Does he cry, or he faces the situation? He faces it like it should be. So he shows if he or she is mature. Is he or she a cultivator? Does he bring out the best in me? Is he reflecting me? Then you should have what we call an accountable partner, a counselor or your pastor, where you can always say, then don't start what you can't finish. Anything you start and you can't tell someone, then there are things you should. Then don't meet behind closed doors. If you have to meet at all, go to a public place, church, an eatery and everything. That's where you could discuss. Then you should talk about how many children you want to give back to. Where do you intend to stay? Are we traveling out? What job are you going to be doing? Don't surprise anybody in the future. Are you going to be a footballer? This is what I intend to be in life, even though this is what I'm doing now. So that by the time you start what you feel you are going to eventually do, it won't be a surprise to your partner. So it's not that you just wake up one day and say, I'm going to have to be playing for Kuwait, and because the person will wonder, where is this coming from? And in such thing, some homes have been destroyed as a result of that. Then we said something, are you heading towards the same place? Can my partner be able to pay the price for my destiny? If all this are tending towards a positive thing, then you are in the right track. But if not, you should retrace back your step. Then how long do you intend to cut? Don't just say, okay, we're cutting. And don't give it an everlasting thing. Then is this person proud of me? I have a situation of a particular young lady I was handling a particular. That guy, he said, let's just be friends. You know, by the time we're friends, we're just friends. One day we'll decide. I said, and this person does not have a plan for you. And eventually the guy showed it. One day he just came and said, I don't think we can continue again. You see, life is not just about that you must know where you're going. You must have definite plans. You must be able to discuss those plans, and you must both be willing to move ahead with those plans. For example, if your case is you've had children before, maybe you have a divorce or you're widowed, discuss about those children. Where would they be? What will be your take? Then when it comes to finance, both of you should sit down and discuss what proportion, what am I going to be putting down when it comes to our home development? What are you going to be putting down when it comes to our home development? Then you talk about your in-laws too, your parents, your siblings. How are we going to be treating them? Are we going to be expecting visitors? But all those things are very essential. If you get all this right, then you are in for a good time. Hello everyone, From Yes to Yes I Do is a courtship manual written by Sherry and Tomioni. It's a book that would help in investing into your life. You should get one. For more bookings, or you want to get this book, you can send me a message on WhatsApp on 070-5340-7699. I'm sure we've been able to touch as much as we can tonight. We might not be able to exhaust it in just this one thing. That's why there will still be room for that. So in case you want to be part of our team, you want to keep learning, so you can follow me on Instagram at Seyespecial, and also you can send a text to me on 070-5340-7699. 070-5340-7699. From time to time we'll put in videos and materials that will be helpful to you. Thank you for coming tonight. It's been a wonderful time. Have a lovely night. Good night.
Good night.